Welcome to Speaking Prowess, the show that supercharges your communication and fuels unstoppable success. Sifu Rafael, visionary founder and world-renowned master instructor, elevates leaders into unforgettable communicators who command the room and inspire action. Alongside him is Scott Schilling, the authentic connector, a business growth expert with 40 years of experience, empowering audiences to rise higher, succeed faster, and thrive with purpose. Together, they bring you the strategies, insights, and inspiration to amplify your voice, expand your influence, and unlock your true potential. This is Speaking Prowess. Your journey to communication mastery starts now.
Happy Friday, Jaclyn. You are not Scott.
I am not Scott, but I can play Scott on TV.
Wow, you're too funny. And this is why you said yes at the last minute, because you're an exceptional human being. Thank you so much for covering for Scott. He's actually, his son is getting married, but things changed. So he had to get to his son earlier. There's a bunch of things that are happening. That was last minute kind of deal. So thank you for filling in. Really, really appreciate you.
You know, that's great though. I mean, like, congratulations to Scott and his family. That's just it's a beautiful thing. And I'm sure he will have a lot to share about the celebration and watching your child get married. Oh my God. I mean, my son's, my daughter's in college, and, even seeing that, like, I'm getting all like emotional because I just can only imagine.
So you're missing your daughter then?
I'm it's not that I'm missing her. It's just like it's like those quintessential moments in life. And, high school graduation, all of those things are big, for us as parents to see the journey, right? And so, that's just like a huge step, to see that happen, and I just.
Yeah. Those are moments we cherish.
Yeah.
So I want to cherish this next person who's going to join us, right? So let's go ahead and bring him. Faisal, thank you for joining us today. I appreciate you.
To be here. Thank you for having me.
Happy Friday.
Happy Friday to you.
So today we're talking about commanding presence, unlocking your voice of leadership. Oof. Who wants to take that one? I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn.
Say that 10 times fast, right?
I'm here to learn. I'm here to learn. I'm here to. Oh, that you meant the other thing?
Commanding. I have to say, I love this topic because leadership is so quintessential, and it comes with voice and how we say things. And not that I want to bring up a children's book, but I'm going to share with you a children's book. And it's one of my favorite books for kids. Hello, Monique. Oh my God, she's beautiful. You're beautiful. Not she, you.
It is beautiful. She interrupted you with not a voice, not a sound.
Her presence.
Her presence. Right.
And that's exactly what we're talking about. Right. Commanding presence. Hello.
So I want to share with you this book, okay? And the reason why I like this book, it's called Alice and the Elephant. Have you ever heard of Alice and the Elephant?
No.
Okay. Alice and the Elephant it's a kid's book, okay? But I actually, when I talk to teams and I talk to people, I will share with them, each and every one of us has a voice. And Monique, Faisal, Sifu, each of us could say the exact same thing, basically in context, but it's going to come out differently because we each have our own voice, and our intonations and how we say things is really different. So the quick story about this book, Alice and the Elephant cannot make the trumpet sound, right? And he's teased, can't do it. He feels bad. His mom says, you'll find it. Well, he goes off, talks with his imaginary friend or whatever, Weasel, and he finds this voice, but his voice is holy crow, beautiful, trumpet, jazzy, and I'm not going to make the sound, because you don't want to hear that. But like beautiful jazzy sound music. And he went from not having a voice to having this amazing voice. And then instead of all of the elephants teasing him, all the elephants wanted to be like him and be like, oh, how did you do that? And it's the same thing. I feel like, when you find that voice for you, you command presence. It gives you confidence. You go from, maybe not feeling as powerful or, great in your skin to feeling just like you want to burst. And we have to find, each and every one of us needs to find our unique voice, and everybody finds it at different times.
Wow. Now I want to read the book and I want to hear the sounds.
I think you actually can listen to. I think you can actually hear it on YouTube, and it play. It's like they read it aloud and they play this beautiful jazz music, whatever to get the sound. But it's again, each and every one of us has a voice, and if you're building a team, it's like also with like your sales team. People talk about scripts. The script is just your basis, right? To start with, and if you're running a business and you're out selling, you have to make the presentation and the script come from you and your heart and what you're saying. And but the script gives you the place to start, and then you can transition to make it into your own.
I just so everybody who's watching or listening, StreamYard created a new thing. So if you see the QR code, that's actually Jaclyn's website. So if you were to take out your phone, that's Jaclyn's website. And so Monique, I'm going to ask you to, and I think you did, you put your website on here for us. So I'm also going to create a QR code for you. So when you're speaking, we're going to put it up there for you. And Faisal, I'm also going to do the same thing for you. So this way people can find you better. I just love that StreamYard continues to elevate.
Yeah.
And just so you guys get a little hint of the person that interrupted you, Jaclyn, she's an incredible opera singer. So she truly knows how to bring the presence with her voice. Go ahead, Monique. You want to say something? I can tell. You're muted at the moment.
I just want to say I love walking into a conversation and understanding their sisters and brothers here. I love what Jaclyn is talking about us each having our own unique voice. And this darling elephant, haven't we all felt like that at some point in our lives? And how important it is to find our unique voice, because I agree wholeheartedly with you, Jaclyn. When we are speaking, we can have similar subjects, similar words even that we're speaking, but it is our life experience and how that affects our voice that makes it ours. So it's as though people are hearing it for the first time. So I want to thank you for writing that book, because sending that message to our young future is so important. So thank you. Thank you.
Well, I didn't write the book. I did not write the book. I found it.
I thought you wrote the book.
No. I did write a book. It's called Charting True North, and it's a leadership, and it is a leadership workbook, all about helping you find your authentic self as a leader. This was a book that literally I fell in love with. It was like somebody had given it to me, and it was like, oh my God, this is the most amazing lesson, but not just for kids, it's for adults. And I feel like it's a lesson that we need to be reminded of, right? That, and maybe it's, at the time, you see so much happening like on social media and negativity and blah, 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 blah. But if you can make it a positive voice and everybody come at something from the good, and that, each and every one of us has to find our unique voice, maybe we can spread a little bit of better cheer, whatever, and make things better.
Thank you for clarifying that, because I came in late. I thought you had written the book, but
I wish I had.
I so wholeheartedly agree with you. And I think that in the pursuit of finding that unique voice, it will also help us all to listen to each other. Because once we start looking for what is our unique voice, all of a sudden we're listening to people in a different way. Don't you agree?
I totally agree. And listening is, and I'm sure you guys, you know, listening is the hardest thing to learn. Active listening is so, it's a skill.
I got to tell you, Faisal is doing that right now. He's been listening, but we need to hear from you, my friend. Tell us what your thoughts are on obviously what we're talking about, which is commanding presence, unlocking your voice of leadership. And there's so many different ways that we can handle this, but we'd love to hear your perspective.
Thank you, Sifu. I'm primarily a coach, so I listen a lot. As much as people think I talk a lot, I actually listen a lot more than I talk. Thank you for the beautiful story, Jaclyn. It took me back to a moment about a little over a decade ago, and I remember clearly because I used to be in the engineering field. I would go to work, come back, and that was some transformation was internally happening. Every morning I would wake up, I had this vision of being on stage, and was the problem. I thought it was the most ridiculous thing I've ever pictured, because I was a very quiet person, very introverted, and I was not a speaker. I did not want to be a speaker. It was not something I wanted to do. And if I looked at my background, I had spent the past 30 years not sharing my thoughts. I was the thinker in my own corner. And on top of that, I came from a culture where self-expression or verbal expression was not celebrated. It was. I'll tell you another story connected to that. So I was in high school here in Canada. It was the first year I was in Canada. I was around 17 years old. I remember it was English class. The teacher was, I think she was Romanian, Eastern European accent. It was Shakespeare, something related to Shakespeare. I was standing at the back of the class, and there was a girl in front of me on the row on this side, in front of the teacher. I liked the girl. I remember I had a crush on her, but I didn't know how to say that. I didn't know how to express. I didn't know any of that. So the teacher says something, and I don't remember the exact words, but what I do remember is this girl gets up and says, "Miss," very calmly, "I disagree with you." To me, my brain could not process that. Where I come from, we don't disagree with teachers. we don't raise our voice at all. It took me months to try to figure out, how did she do that? That's the background I came from, and I never expressed my thoughts or anything like that. And then here I was about a little over a decade ago. I'm getting this vision of speaking in front of people. I'm like, this must be the most ridiculous thing on earth. And at the time, I used to, if I would talk to somebody, even one person that I didn't know, I had to hold myself from hyperventilating. Now that was the state I was in, but there was something brewing inside. There was a bigger mission that you know what, I had struggled a lot with so many things, and I needed to share that somehow. Part of it was the technical things that I had to learn, but there was a deeper desire, deeper purpose that was brewing. That was the beginning of me beginning to share my voice. It started with just one-on-one conversations, then it led to groups, and then went on stage. And then we just had an event a few weeks ago. We did in Santa Fe with a few leaders. And I was saying that even then, I'm like, this feels so ridiculous, because and as I was sharing this story. And I had a client there too who struggles with this, sharing his voice, and he's a leader in an organization. He wants to do well in presentation. I purposely put him in front of the room, and I could tell for like 3 seconds he paused, and he was getting himself together. And then afterwards, but he did great. Afterwards, he came to me. He's like, I don't know what happened to me. I'm like, don't worry, nobody noticed. I'm probably the only one who noticed the whole thing. You did incredible. You are beginning to experiment your voice. But the reason why I'm sharing this story is that I think anything that starts with purpose, that connects to courage, and there's a real reason for you to speak in front of people, that is more important than I want to go speak in front of people and I want to command presence. I really believe that it needs to start with a real mission that connects to service rather than, oh, I just want to share for the sake of sharing.
I love that. When you think about sharing, it's everything has to come from within, right? From inside of us. Otherwise, it's not yours. It's somebody else's, or it's baloney, if you will. And I know it's not the best word you want to use, but baloney is probably not even healthy for you. So think about that. So do you want to use baloney, or do you want to use the truth, what speaks to your heart, so that you can share fully with somebody? And I love that you mentioned that as well.
Mhm.
Thank you.
It's so important to be able to actually share from a place of giving versus almost being somebody who's, putting on to people. But when you come from that place of, again, I want to give people something, I want to either educate people, I want to help people do something, it's so much more authentic than someone just spewing.
Absolutely. So before we get lost, I want to share something with you, because we talked about it earlier a little bit before we came on, and I just want to see some movement here. So this is why I'm going to share this with you. So I might as well just share it.
The city never sleeps, and neither do the dreamers who build its pulse. From every corner of the globe they come. Visionaries, creators, leaders, each carrying a spark ready to ignite the world. This is not an event, it's a revolution of rhythm and reason. A symphony of minds, a movement of momentum. Sifu Rafael, Lancelot, together they set the stage for brilliance. This is the NYC experience. Mastermind, light up the city. They coming from the east, coming from the west. Knowledge on deck, put the truth to the test. Leaders in motion, hearts in sync, dropping wisdom so deep it'll make you think. They bring stories, sweat and flame, different faces, one shared name. Elevation, that's the sound. NYC experience, mastermind, where purpose is found.
Well, I just thought I'd share that, because I like every time that Monique has seen it. This is the second time or third time. She moves. This girl moves.
I'm like, okay, who did your music? Like, that's awesome. That was fantastic.
Yeah, I put that little thing together. So yeah, I am a little creative.
A little.
Just a little. So I love this conversation that we have, and for me, it's about how we help one another, right? How we help anybody who's in our presence. Like, I love the fact that you brought this gentleman up, and he had that pausing moment to maybe take it in, to maybe get his nerves in order. And anytime when I see somebody getting nervous, I say, "You have butterflies?" Like, yeah. You know what I say to them? Well, have them fly in formation and then let go. Because you got to turn your nervousness into excitement. There's a reason you've gotten on stage. There's a reason somebody even wants to listen to you. So be excited about it.
Yeah, for sure.
I love that, Sifu. I talk to my clients about that same moment. And that's why I gave a thumbs up. It's interesting that the gentleman you were speaking about felt that that was wrong or bad, but I actually encourage people to do that so that they are fully themselves. It's about bringing yourself to the moment, right? Like gathering all of the yous that you've given all over, like energetically, and bringing them all together for this now moment. And I like to say that those butterflies, the nerves, it means you have something important to say. If it was just an everyday conversation, you wouldn't feel that. We each, I believe, have a message for the world. And our voice becomes unique because that message is moving through us. And so those few seconds are what actually make you able to be seen and heard. And we talk about visibility and wanting it all the time, but it's in our DNA that is the most dangerous place to be, right? In front of the herd. Like, who does that? Like that, that's how you get killed as public, but as public speakers, that's where we choose to hang out. Because most of us, I feel like those of us that are really have the most important messages, it wouldn't even occur to us that we're there to be fantastic, right? Those of us with the deep messages for the world, we know that it's for the world and it has nothing to do with us. And so to prepare ourselves to be seen and heard is, I think, something that a lot of speakers and speaker trainers miss. And so that's why it was a total thumbs up when your guy took those moments. Yeah. Faisal, right? It's good. It's all good. Love it.
Yeah. One of the things that comes to mind, and I work with coaches, I work with entrepreneurs, and you find that we have this deep sense of fear to be seen, and we also have this deep sense of need to be seen.
That's right. They go hand in hand.
Such a crazy thing. And whenever somebody has an important message, they need to put themselves out there. One of the first things is hesitation. Is like, well, what would others think of me? And in fact, most people don't start things not because they can't do it, but because they think, well, what would that person think? What would my family and friends think? What if I have to share everything? That was one of my biggest fears too, because I had spent 30 years of my life never sharing any of my thoughts, to be honest, any of my deeper thoughts. And then all of a sudden now I'm sharing all my whole life story on podcasts and everywhere. I used to call myself a private person. I'm like, I guess I'm not anymore.
Private window.
I've opened a big window into my house. But the thing that comes to mind is courage. It takes courage to put yourself out there with however the message is going to come through. And I love that you said that needs to come through you. It took me back to something Carl Jung in his book. If nobody has read that, Memories, Dreams, and Reflections, as his autobiography, probably a biography of a person who lived a life of meaning, purpose, but also left a huge legacy. And he was one of the fathers of psychology. And talked about our existential dilemma as human beings and how he experimented with and how his thoughts that he left behind. One of the things that he brings up in that book, he talks about Socrates. Socrates used to say to people, a philosopher, he used to say to people that when I speak, it's not me, it's my daemon. And people later called that demon, but that's not what it is. So the daemon was like a personal god or his soul, you want to call it. And even at the end of that book, Carl Jung says, I wish I could take credit for everything that I have shared here, but it's just, he says a version of it comes through me. It's not me.
Yes.
Sharing that. So every time I am in front of people, whether it's on one-on-one coaching sessions, groups, in front of leaders, team leaders, I lose myself in the mix. And those are the best times where I don't remember myself. I become part of the process. Even when I'm on stage, I become the part of the whole thing. And that requires an initial courage to say that, you know what, I'm going to step in here, even though it's scary to my ego, to my identity, but it's not about that. There's something that's trying to come through. And if you can get yourself connect to that part of you, I don't think you need the technicalities, and the training will come, because you're going to keep wanting to be in front of people. You get practice and you do it. And then after a while, you're like, okay, I'm a speaker, I guess.
Yeah.
I gotta say one thing that you talked about, Monique, and that is about your world, right? I've heard this said 1,000 times over. My wife is my world. My husband is my world. But a lot of people don't do the right thing by their world. So the best leadership style that you can do is, if your wife or your spouse or your husband, whoever it is, if they're your world, then you need to be the best leader in that world, in their world, because they're your world.
Yes.
So you need to be a great leader, and a great leader listens to whoever's in front of them, so that we can share what has come through us. Like you said, Faisal, it is not about me. It's about what I have received, so I can give it. Because when I go to sleep every night, I'm one of those guys. I want, not that I have to, but I want darkness. So I put on my mask, right? And my fiance says, I feel like I'm going to sleep next to Dracula, because I go like,
You have Dracula vibes, Sifu.
oh, your blood looks kind of good. No, so
You have this mysterious vibe already, and you're putting on those things.
So the whole thing is that I want to get into a space where I'm asking God to guide me, to direct me, to give me the information I need, so I can be a better person tomorrow, to show me the ways that I need to be, show me the hidden secrets that I keep looking for but haven't found yet. And that's how I go to sleep every single night. And when I wake up, the first thing I do is I'm thankful for first waking up, and for the gifts he's given me, and for the guidance. And sometimes I get woken up 3 to 4 hours before I'm supposed to wake up, and I just go journaling. I go writing. So in order for me to be the best, if my fiance is my world, then I need to listen to her, whatever it is that she wants to talk about. But also I need to listen to her presence, because I need to physically see her mood, her style, the way she's walking, the way she's moving, just the way that you commanded that stage, Monique, when you came on, and Jaclyn was like, "Whoa, she's beautiful," right? but it's about the true leader. I believe, in order to help anybody else, is we need to see first. I'll share a quick story about me, if you don't mind, right? You guys okay with that?
Yeah, please.
Of course.
Okay. I had a really bad accident when I was probably before my 3rd birthday. I've had so many, I should be dead. I have more lives than a cat. So I fell from, in Colombia, the roofs were really high. So I fell from a 2nd story before the age of 3. And I went through a veranda. I had both spindles in my hand, and I was supposed to hit the ground, but there was a wash basin back in the old days. Yes, I'm 104. So back in the old days, and I thank God that basin, actually they cleaned it out and so forth. It had water in it. I fell in water. The last thing I remember is seeing red, because I fell backwards. I fell into, I tumbled, I hit it, and I look, and everything is red. I woke up 3 weeks later, right? So obviously I was in a coma. I lost 3 weeks of my young life. But what wound up happening is I looked fine. I had a scar over here. It's almost invisible now. But at the age of between 7 to 10, I had to wear a patch in my other eye. So that patch gave me a perspective I would never have ever had. It made me see things clearer than I would have ever seen with both eyes. it made me look at people more intently. So for me, body language is huge. Seeing somebody's mood, seeing how somebody's shoulders are, the way they carry their head even to the side or this way, the way they smile, is it real? Even their eyes. So we all lost an ability when COVID hit because everybody was wearing masks. So we couldn't see smiles. We couldn't see things. I still saw smiles because I was looking at the eyes, right? You can see a smile. So when we're a leader, we need to use all of our senses. And the only reason I told you about me is not for pity, is to let you know the kind of person that I've become is because of my adversity has taught me so much that I use all my senses. I use my sense of smell really keenly. My hearing is really great. My eyesight is kind of weird. One is nearsighted, the other one's farsighted. And I know people who have an operation just to get what I have. All they had to do was fall and hit a pipe on the way down. They would have been fine, right? But when we think about the way we interact in this world, and I love that you brought that up, Monique, is that everyone matters. Everyone is our world because we're seeing us through them. We need to see that. We need to picture. If we see a homeless person, you can become homeless. If we see somebody suffering, you could be suffering. So let's get into our heart and our mind and see the world in a brighter and healthier way. Thank you for letting me chat.
Sifu, I think what you said is it's so beautiful, and I think one of the biggest things, I think a lot of people who have either gone into coaching or have something to share. A lot of it's because we have had some adversity. We've had something that we realize is really profound, and that we want to be able to share that with other people, so maybe that we can create and impact a change in others, whether it's within themselves or the people that are around us, and that and to take that adversity and turn it into something that is positive. And I think that's one of the things, like Faisal, you went, I'm so curious, like, how do you feel now that your voice is out? Like, you're able to share that, and that transformation is so impactful, I think, for other people to hear and see. And so I just think it's really great for us, I think those of us, and I've had crazy adversity things, and I won't go into all the details right this second, when I was younger, but it makes us a stronger person, and those who use that to the greater good. I think that's it's what helps us make a better place.
Yeah, one of the things I've realized over the years, and I've coached so many people, I find this so interesting. I get on a call, and these guys are either becoming business owners, or they're trying to scale, or they're trying to create a legacy. Often I hear a version of this is that, and there's this fear embedded in there, and they're like, I make money and I get corrupted. If I gain power and I get corrupted.
Wow.
That's a big
and I'm
one.
thinking, like, these are the kind of leaders we need, but they doubt themselves so much that they don't go ahead. And then I also run into all kinds of other weird people who will say, no, I need to gain more. I need to get more wealth. I need to get more power. For what reason? They don't know for what reason. And it's like there was this one person I had a deeper conversation with who said, I need to make $100 million. I'm like, okay, great. Tell me why. And he goes and he's like, well, first I need to protect myself, my family. Like, all valid. Great. Okay. How much would it take you to do that? It's like, maybe a few, 5 million a year. I'm like, okay, great. What are you doing with the 95 million? The rest of it? He had no reason for it. He had no sense of purpose around. But then this other person, and which is more common, these other leaders who self-doubt themselves, they don't share their thoughts. They don't share their perspective. They tend to be in the background, and we need more and more leaders like that. And I actually found myself on that boat years ago, and I mentioned for 30 years I just observed a lot of leaders in my family, in my community. I observed a lot of people around, and the ones who should have been in leadership positions, they were not. The ones who were just very self-driven, they were. And I watched multiple generations of people broke down. I experienced a lot of the negative effects of it. I saw that in my family members, community members. I saw homes get destroyed, people committing suicide, people breaking down, all kinds of things, all because the real leaders never stepped up. And they also knew that they were the more thoughtful ones. They were the more heart-centered ones. And then there was, as I was kind of going through that journey, I was like that too for a while. And I was like, you know what? Well, why should it be me? It's like they can, but then I'm like, how long am I going to wait? What am I going to answer to my kids when they grow up? That you had a voice to speak up, but you didn't. You had a voice to say something, but you didn't. So it wasn't. So I was like, you know what? This is bigger than me. I gotta find a way to share this. And we need more and more leaders like that who are hiding in the background in their families and their communities, and they're watching other people who are loud, but they don't have any substance. And I mean, we see this in the world of social media. There are a lot of loud people, but they don't really have a lot of substance, and people tend to follow them. And that's how human beings are. You don't need to be more intelligent. If you're loud enough, you're confident enough, people will follow you. And we need to, and that's been my mission, is how can we bring up more families from more leaders within families, within communities, within organizations, those who are much more thoughtful, those who are not really self-driven, they're more service-driven. And I'm saying this also for somebody who's hearing this, and they might be sitting there, well, why should I share my voice? Like, no, if you're saying that, why should I share my voice, or you're hesitating, it might be that you really actually need to share that voice.
I love this idea and this concept of money, because and wealth and material things. Have you ever seen a funeral procession with a U-Haul truck behind it?
With all their stuff?
Oh
Probably
my
not.
God.
Right? Probably
I
not.
really feel like we need to make that a meme, or like do a video of that. Because that is like, that is so fun. It's so funny, as you know, it's so true,
Because
It's
you
not
can't
about
take
the
it.
things,
You
it's
can't
about the
take it.
memory.
You cannot take it with you.
You can't
So
take it with you.
where's the impact really? Is it the wealth, or is it the impact you make in the world? And I was talking before about the world, and a lot, like I said, people say, my wife is my world, my children are my world. Well, then, yeah, impact them.
Yeah.
Impact them. I believe a true leader starts at home.
Yeah.
And
I
then we can get
absolutely
to the
agree.
masses, right?
I absolutely agree. And I love this conversation so much. Faisal, thank you so much for what you said. We are living in a world that is in need of those heart-centered thought leaders to strengthen their voice.
Mm-hmm.
The world is in need of their voice now more than ever. Those others that have the big, loud voice with not much heart or substance have had the mic long enough. We are living in a time where those who know what true leadership is, which is what you're describing, being able to listen. And it's also something that I talk to my speakers about. Public speaking isn't about sending your voice out into the world. That's what most people think it's about. But when you can listen with your whole being, whether it's one-to-one or one-to-many, especially in the time in which we are living now, do you know that the greatest gift we can give each other today is our undivided attention? I was having a conversation with my roommate, and he was having a really tough time. And he was just telling me the story of what he was living through. And I was just silently listening. And he's like, "Why are you looking at me like that?" I said, "What? What do you mean? I'm listening to you." And he sort of pulled back into himself, and he said out loud, "I am right now realizing that no one has given me their undivided attention. No one just listens."
Rare thing, right?
Because these things.
Yes. And that's why what you were saying, Rafael, about really taking in the person in front of you that you say is your world, really taking in the whole audience when you're speaking to them, really taking in that it looks like it's just the four of us here in this lovely little StreamYard platform, but it's literally the entire world, and that our voices vibrate the world when we are silent as much as when we speak. That's true leadership.
You reminded me of, I mean, like I said in the beginning, I'm primarily a coach. So I spend a lot of time sitting there listening to people. And on average, I'm on a 60-minute to 2-hour calls. And I'll give you some variation of clients that show up. There might be an entrepreneur who has spent the last 20 plus years building a powerful business, but has neglected his personal life. And he's always there for other people. And he's all pushing the boundaries of business and everything, but not once. And he's wakes up at 5 a.m, goes to sleep, wakes up again, does the same thing over and over. Now, to other people, he might look like a well-off, wealthy person. He is, and he has a really good purpose, and he does good things in the world. But he's completely neglected his own personal well-being. He has a desire to build a family, but he doesn't even know where to get started with that. All he knows at this point is to show up at his business, lead his team, which all good things, but he's neglected that. I sit in front of a couple who have a daughter who is going through cancer, is just 10 years old, and this couple has been going through about years of relationship issues. The husband is sleeping in the basement, and the wife is there, and they need to show up as a team for that daughter and the rest of the children in the house. They don't even know how to connect with each other, let alone show up for that girl. And another variation of that is sitting there with an executive trying to be there for her team, but she's dealing with illness at home. And all these people, what they have in common is nobody has listened to them.
Yeah.
Not their life partner, not the person sitting. And when I'm sitting there in that call listening to them, I used to think that, the questions that I ask, and those are important, or the perspectives shared, or the ways, the blind spots they find, which are all useful. But I can tell you almost always and I always ask this question: what did you love about our conversation? Sometimes I have to ask, what did you hate about our conversation? Because it becomes very difficult. Or I'll ask, what did you love or hate about the conversation? They're like, you know what? Very similar to what you shared. It's like, I've never been given this space to be heard like this. Is like, it's so, and then they'll share it in different ways, and something lifts from them. It's like they get this undivided love, attention, whatever you want to call it.
Yes.
And something changes within them. And besides the insights, besides the strategies, besides all the things that they get in the process, what they get is, you know what? If somebody can be there like this for me, who can I be there for? And this transforms their relationships and with their teams, with other, because you're also modeling the process. And I really believe what Sifu said, that your leadership starts at home. I always tell people, my work outside is not that hard. My work at home with my kids, with my wife, with myself, that is hard work. And actually,
that's the PhD.
You
Yeah.
change the world. Well, no,
Right.
you want to change the world, start where you are. That is the hardest thing.
yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
not. I struggle day to day to like I have to force myself to be there. I do a lot more work at home than I do in my work. Work is like leisure time for me a lot of times.
Work is the easy part. Guess what? We are at the time where we actually have to end this conversation, which I don't want to, because it's such a great conversation. But what I want to do is give each of you 45 seconds. Tell us why somebody should reach out to you. I know why they should reach out to you, but just share with us. I'm going to share with you two things, right? Your link and your QR code, because somebody can take their phone and QR code you and just go to your site. And if you want to get all of our QR codes, just click the plus sign and get the next one. Click the plus sign, get the next one. So let's make it happen. Monique, we're going to let you go first, my dear. 45 seconds, please.
We are living in a time where we need authentic, heartfelt voices more than ever. It's your time to step into the version of yourself that you know you were born to be. And I am all about showing you how to stand in your power and be yourself and align your voice to your message so that your message reaches the hearts of those who are praying for you right now. Please come, let's talk, and I'll show you how magnetic your voice actually is right now.
Love it. Love it. Make sure you connect. Click on that QR code. Follow her. She's amazing. And she's going to be speaking at New York City Experience. What can I say?
Yay! Then I get to meet you in person. Woo-hoo.
Yay!
Faisal, you're up, my friend. Go for it.
If you really want to build a life that's worth living, which means find who you are or connect to who you are deep down, find your purpose, your vision, and build a family that you would leave a legacy for, a business that leaves the impact that you want, and stop being unclear about the thing that matters to you, the soul, deep down in your soul, then you can reach out to me and we can have a deeper conversation around it. I don't charge anybody for my initial conversations. I don't even know if I can work with you, but if something speaks to your heart about the message that I've shared around your purpose, who you are, and what you can create on the world, then reach out and we'll have a conversation and see where we can go.
I love it. I love it. Thank you. Thank you so much. Jaclyn, my co-host, who stepped up last minute, incredible human being. Love you, love you, love you. So go ahead and share with us.
So I love helping people leap to their greatest success. And I do that through helping people leverage their communication with their purpose and passion, find their energy that drives them, and create what their actions are going to be to help them with leaping to their success, and then propelling them forward, as I always love to say, by MMA, which is measure, monitoring, and adjusting what their actions are. You know, we all need to take a leap into greatness, and I love helping everybody take that leap and be unstoppable.
Be unstoppable with Jaclyn.
Mm-hmm. Unstoppable Success is the name of my podcast too.
I love it, love it. And in case you don't know, I am Sifu Rafael. I am that guy, right? So for me, you are, when you're in front of me, you're my world, right? Because if I'm not going to spend the time to even get to know you, it's not worth our time together. So when we do spend time together, let me get to know you. And hopefully you may want to get to know me, maybe a little bit, right? So for me is helping people to reset, restore, and rise, whether that's through your health, your communication, or the way you show up in leadership. For me, it's not about adding more to your plate because you probably have a plate that's already full. It's about giving you clarity and a proven system that fuels your purpose without burning you out, because so many people burn out without realizing that they're burning the candle at both ends. So I'm here to serve you by helping you unlock the discipline, energy, and mindset that already lives inside of you, because it does live inside of you. So you can show up stronger for yourself, your family, and your mission. And did I mention yourself? You are the most important person to begin with. Remember that. So do me a favor. Share the show with somebody. Somebody needed to listen to these messages today.
Yep.
You have to. And I am beyond thrilled. Guess what? Faisal is going to be joining me on Heroes Rising. I'm going to welcome you two ladies if you want to join me on the next show in about 10 minutes. You want to come? If you have the bandwidth, I'll give you the link. We'll go there. It's going to be Heroes Rising. But share this particular show. The conversation was incredible. Great takeaways and great people. I am blessed to know each one of you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So I'm going to add, I did this in my last show and it was pretty interesting. I want you to say only one last word before we log off. Monique.
Gratitude.
Faisal.
Purpose.
Jaclyn.
Communicate.
Expand. Thank you. God bless each one of you.
Thank you.
Just hang on for a minute. I do have a minute while we say goodbye to everybody. Remember to share the show, everybody. Have yourself an exceptional rest of this beautiful Friday. See you next time.
This is Speaking Prowess,